Okay, so yeah, I am half English, half American. My father was in the Air Force. He was based at Chick Sands in the UK. He met my mother. They were fortunate enough to have this perfect child you see in front of you. I have a brother and a sister. We moved back to America, and I lived the first 10 years of my life in the United States. And my father was a chess master. That was his job. After he retired from the Air Force, he was a professional chess player. So I grew up around professional chess players, which is kind of an unusual climate to grow up in, because you're growing up around all these ultra intelligent, semi-autistic. They're weirdos, right? Yeah. You can't be that good at chess and be normal, right? They're like human calculators. They're all a bit strange, and you have ex-KGB members and like math nerds, and it's just a very weird kind of climate. And my father was a chess master, but my father was very unique because my father was also a professional wrestler and had physicality. So you have like a bunch of dorks. Then you have my dad, this big black dude, and he's like competing in the chess world. So I grew up in a very kind of strange world, and I was a professional chess player. I was on my path to being a professional chess player. At the age of 5, I was the state chess champion for Indiana, and I was the best ranked player under the age of 10, and I was on my way. So I played chess for the early part of my life, and then at the age of 11, my mother and father split up. My mom took me back to Luton. Great place. Lovely. Mm-hmm. So from the age of 11, I grew up in Luton. So that's the very beginning of the story. And a lot's happened between now and then, and here I am. So
how was that breakup for you? Do you think that's what made you into the man you are today with women and all the shit that you do?
Yeah, that's a good question. And a lot of people talk about how stressful it was that their parents broke up. And I mean, obviously I was very, very young. I don't think I was necessarily too upset by it. You know, I was still, my father was very realistic with me, and he said, look, I'm still going to see you, but you're going to England. It is what it is. So I don't think I was particularly upset by it. I definitely wouldn't say I was traumatized by it, but it did alter my life trajectory because I lost my chess coach. Up until then, I played chess 3-4 hours a day. It's all I did was chess, chess, chess. When we left, not only is there no chess scene in England like there's in America. In America, there's lots of chess in the schools and these kind of things. There's no chess scene, plus I had no coach. So for a while, I was kind of lost, I would say. I had 4 hours free a day that I never used to previously have. And I mean, I didn't get into too much trouble or too much mischief, but I was certainly a bit, how can I replace this thing I used to do all of the time?
What did you replace it with?
I ended up replacing it with fighting.
Yeah, from a young age?
From around about 15, 16, I started kickboxing. And I think that fighting and chess are extremely similar. To me, they aligned. They fulfilled the same gaps in my psyche, right? People always say, how did you go from being a chess player, which everyone sees as geeky, to a kickboxer? And I said, well, chess is one-on-one battle, right? That's all it is. There's no luck involved. There's no team. There's no wind that can blow the ball. There's no, it's one-on-one. It's a fight. If you lose, you messed up. And fighting feels the same for me. So for me, I thought, well, okay, I can't learn chess well enough without a coach. And I can't find a coach in the UK who I trust to teach me chess, but I can find a coach who can teach me to kick people's ass. So that's kind of how it started.
How did you end up going through the ranks and winning world titles?
Fighting's kind of weird, right? I think if you talk to any fighter, everyone who starts, I mean, lots of people say they had aspirations of being the world title or the world champion at the beginning. I just turned up to training one step at a time, right? I just wanted to be good. So my coach said, you have to train 7 times a week. I was like, okay. So I just obeyed. I was just a worker ant. I just did as I was told. And then you win and you win again and you win again and you get a title shot, you win. And before you know it, you get up there. My first ever world title fight was on 3 days notice. So someone pulled out and I had 3 days notice. I had to lose 9 kilo in 3 days. I turned up, obviously was completely destroyed from the weight cut. Everyone expected me to lose. And I won. But they gave and I'll say I won because I did win. They gave the decision to the other guy. It was in France and it was in Paris and it was me against the French world champion. They gave it to him. But I whooped his ass, right? And we submitted the video to the ISKA, the organization, and they demanded a rematch because it was so obvious I won. And we fought again. And without the big weight cut problem, I knocked him out in the 8th. And I became world champion for the first time.
How was that for you?
It was good, but I don't ever feel like I'm satisfied. I never won the world title and go, yes, I'm the champ now. It was just like, okay, next. I was kind of always like that. I always had these aspirations. I've always kind of felt, without sounding like a crazy conspiracy theorist, even now to this day, I feel, maybe, correct me, you're a smart man, so maybe this will make sense to you. Do you ever look around you and just look at the world and feel like, kind of like we're in the Matrix, like there's something missing?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's just you feel it in your gut.
Yeah, something isn't right here. Everything just seems so superficial. And I don't know. I was always looking for this secret. I was always looking for, I wouldn't say happiness or contentment, but I was always looking to try and break out of the 9 to 5 just the normal monotony of day-to-day life. And for a long time, I thought fighting was my way out. I don't know what I was trying to get to. I don't know where it was going to lead. But when I just look at the normal life a lot of people live, that is just absolutely depressing to me.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine doing it. I'm not shitting on the normal guy. I'm saying you're a stronger man than me. Because if I was a normal dude working in Starbucks, bro, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that day to day. I literally could not do that. And I thought fighting will make sure I never have to do that, if that makes sense.
Did you ever find this sense of completion? Were you winning world titles, or were you still unsatisfied?
There's always someone new to beat up, right?
Yeah.
And then even then, I'm dedicating all my time to fighting, which is actually the reason I retired. I retired for 4 years. I came back last year and I fought 3 times. But I actually retired because one day I woke up and I looked at my life and I thought, I'm giving 7 hours a day to fighting. If I were to put 7 hours a day into something else, what else could I achieve? Because I had a little bit of money from fighting, but I wasn't balling. I wasn't rich. And I thought, what's the point in being the world champion if I can't buy Lambos on the debit card, right? What's the point? So then I thought, well, I want to be rich now. So that's actually the reason I retired. So I was always chasing other things. And then now I've got money, I want to fight again. I'm never happy, bro. This is how it goes, right? You're always chasing something else. But I do feel like to a degree, I have at least partially escaped the matrix I used to be talking about. I kind of feel like I've started to escape. And Corona, as much as it's been a headache for everybody, has helped me realize how fortunate I am in my position. To when everyone else is locked down, I can just get on a private jet and go where I want, right? So that it's kind of cool when they go, there's no flights. I'm like, not for you. There's flights for me, bro. So it's kind of, I felt like I've semi-escaped. So I've kind of got there.
When did you start chasing the money? What, after kickboxing? Like you started a webcam business, 75 girls?
Yes. Let's talk about the webcam business. Yeah. Yes. So that's the story. So for anyone watching this who doesn't know my story, I'm fighting. I became 4-time world champion. I was 28 when I won my 4th world title. And one day I woke up and I literally just woke up. I looked at my bank. I just won a world title fight, but I hadn't fought in 6 months. By the time I paid all my back rent and paid my car payments, all that, I looked at my bank. I had like $3,000, $4,000 in there. And I'm like, I'm giving up my entire life and I don't even know how I'm going to live. I need to get rich. I want to get rich. So I said to my coach, look, I'm going to take a couple months off and I'm going to focus purely on money. And the story is, and this is a completely true story, I'm sitting with my brother and I'm like, how can we get rich? You know what's amazing? Now I have money. Lots of people always ask me, how do I get rich? And I say, when's the last time you talked about money? When's the last time you sat down with your friends and refused to talk about anything else but how to make money? How are you making money? How are you making money? How am I making money? How can we make money together? How's that guy making money? How's that coffee shop there making money? Is that coffee shop making money? I don't know. Do they sell cake? No. Why don't they sell cake? Everyone in here is a businessman. If they had a cute young waitress, a girl, instead of a guy, they'd probably sell more coffee. Like no one analyzes anything. They just want to get rich, right? I want to be rich, but they have no plan to get rich. And a hope and a plan are very different things. I explain this to people all the time. Everyone has a dream, but no one has a plan. And nothing good is going to happen on accident, right? I didn't become world champion on accident. I didn't wake up and someone go, how'd you become world champion? And I went, oops, you have to plan for it. So I said to Tristan, we need to discuss money. We need to plan this and we need to work out a way we can get rich. And that's when I started analyzing and understanding banks and the credit system and the money system, how the world actually works. And then I got really pissed off because I realized that money isn't real and it's all a scam. And the banks are destroying us in real time with inflation. And I still don't have any. So I was really mad. And I'm writing down, I was watching some YouTube videos like financial advice and we're talking about assets, liabilities, etc. And I'm writing down all my assets. And I'm trying to work out what I have that's worth money. And the only thing I writ down, because I had a car, but what's that worth? Nothing. I'm big and strong, but I'm already fighting. I can't think of anything else to do with that. The only thing I had was, because I'd been fighting all around the world, I had these 6 girlfriends, right? Because you'd win the world title, you fuck a ring girl, she falls in love with you, you're the big millionaire in London, of course, she thinks you're living the balling life, you're in some tiny apartment with the door locked. So I had these girlfriends and I thought, well, I can't open a strip club. It costs money to open a strip club. And I'm kind of racking my brain. And by absolute coincidence, I'm going around the internet and I saw in the corner, talk to live girls now. And I'd never in my life, like I was never a porn guy. I've never been watching porn or clicking on these things. And I said, talk to live girls. So I clicked on it and there's some chick there on a computer, like, hi. And I was like, my girls can do that. So that was the very beginning. That was the eureka moment. And I walked into my brother's bedroom and I said, we're going to start a webcam company. That was the beginning of it all.
And how do you end up getting 75 girls to work for you?
Yeah. So, and this is the thing that's interesting about it, because when people hear this story and they say like a pimp, etc., people imagine me to be this exploitive, horrible, evil man, which is absolutely and utterly the complete opposite. I'm not trying to convince the internet I'm a nice guy, right? Because I don't give a shit. I'm just telling the truth. So the beginning of it was I messaged my 6 girlfriends and told them they're all coming to live with me, and I had a job for them in London. 2 of them wouldn't come. 4 of them agreed. And I was like, we're going to make money, a bunch of money. You're going to live with me, blah, blah, blah. We're going to live the dream. Right now I'm in between apartments, so I'm in this shitty apartment, because kickboxing's not boxing, bro. You're not making millions like the boxers are. So the 4 girls flew in. I sat them all down at a table. They're all like, who's this chick? Who's this chick? Told them all the truth. I just straight sat there. Just sat there and said, listen, I've been with you all. I'm starting a webcam business. I'm going to get rich. Some of you are going to come with me to the top of the mountain, or if you're pissed off, you can fucking fly home. Just very matter of fact to the point, because I needed money. At this point, now I have not agreed to take another fight. I need money now. So 2 of them left. 2 of them agreed to stay. And the beginning of my cam empire was this tiny little apartment, me and my 2 girlfriends living in this house, right? And they went on cam together as a duo, as a team, to start making money. And that was the beginning of it. And the interesting thing about it was these girls were so inept from a business perspective. Like, they were very beautiful and they're nice girls. I can't say anything bad about them, but women do not have a business mind. So they'd sit on webcam, right? And an old dude would sit there, and the old dude would say, what kind of guy do you like? And they'd say, oh, I don't know, someone in shape who's rich and young. And I'd be like, no, he's an old dude. You have to say, I'm tired of these young guys messing me around. I need an older guy who's ready to settle down. I don't care if he has money as long as he'll take care of me. If he's a young guy, you say, I'm tired of these old guys perving on me. You need to sell the dream. So I'm training these girls. And it got to the point where it was easier if I just typed myself. So what we ended up doing was we had the 2 girls on camera with a keyboard, which wasn't plugged in, doing this. And then I was behind the screen talking to the dudes, saying the right things, and start dragging money out the internet. And for me, I mean, this is a long time ago, right? This is about, how old am I now? I'm 34. So I was about 28. So about 6, 7, maybe 8 years ago, right? And making money online nowadays is far more popular than it was even 8 years ago. Who do you know 8 years ago who made money from YouTube or from online?
Yeah,
nobody.
It's just booming. It's just starting.
It's just starting. So when I started dragging money from the internet, it was like mind blowing to me. And I'm sitting there typing, and I'd type 16, 17 hours a day, but I'd pull in, let's say, $3,000 a day, $4,000 a day. So that became my new life, right? I went from kickboxer to fucking pretend girl on the internet for about 3 months. I'm just typing until the girls learn. And once the girls learn, they could do it themselves. Then I thought, I need some more chicks. And that was kind of the beginning of the cam empire. Yeah, that's how it worked.
What's the most girls you've had working with you?
So here's the problem. Here's what's interesting about it. So the most girls at any one point, I had 4 premises, and I had 75 girls on the books. They weren't all working at once, but I had 75 girls who would do like 1 shift a week or 3 days a week or 7 days a week. 75 women worked for me at the peak of it all. But that was a mistake, because when you have a bunch of girls working for you like that, the only way you can motivate them is with money. And it's better if, when I started, the girls worked for me because they loved me, right? That's the old school pimp game, isn't it? I love this man. We're on our way to the top together. We're going to go Maldives. We're making all this money. It's the old school dream. But when you get too big, you can't have all these girls in love with you. I mean, you can only fuck so much. Like, we're all human, right? So you can't deal with that many women. So then you have to motivate them with money. And if you're trying to motivate a woman with money, it's impossible, because, and any feminist will disagree with me, but I'll tell you something. Women are loyal to one thing on the planet. And the only thing they're loyal to is the man they want to have sex with. That is it. If a woman's working for you and she's making 10 grand a week, but her man who's banging her is like, I don't want you at that. Who's the fuck is this guy pimping you out? You're there with this dude. He thinks he's something. No, fuck him, quit. They're going to quit. Or he'll say, we can do it together, even though they can't, because there's a whole bunch of people think it's easy, right? It's not easy. You need equipment. You need sort out the tax, the banking. You need to know how to handle the guys. It's not easy to do. So every time there was a girl who I wasn't sleeping with, she never lasted long. So then I had these 4 big premises, all these overheads, all these managers that got out of control. So I cut down to like a special forces team of around 8 girls. And that's where I made my most money. When I had 4 girlfriends, my brother had 4 girlfriends, me and my brother, 8 women living in one house. And all the women adored us and they obeyed us. And at the peak, I was turning over 400 grand a month.
With 8 girls?
With 8 girls, yeah.
Were you all sleeping with the same girls?
No, so he had his 4, I had my 4. We don't mix. We don't mix.
So how do those 4 girls accept just to be with you? Do those other girls sleep with other people or
Absolutely not. That's cheating, bro. A woman can't do that. That's cheating. It's fine if I do. I'm a man. If a woman sleeps with multiple people, that's cheating. That's absolutely unacceptable on every level. That's unacceptable. And anyone's going to sit here and say, oh, it is acceptable. No, it isn't. Men and women are not the same. We've never been the same. This new idea that men and women are the same is complete garbage that's been invented, right? For the longest period of human history, men had a role and women had a role. Men have never been faithful, ever. Look at history. Every single king, every single sultan had more than one woman. Look at the history, read the Bible, it's all there. Never in any point in history was there a woman with a bunch of men and that was accepted. Female promiscuity has always been frowned upon. Since the dawn of human time, it's been frowned upon. In fact, only 100 years ago, you couldn't get married unless you were a virgin. It was the only thing that mattered because it ensures paternity. How else do you know that kid is yours before a paternity test unless she was a virgin? It's the only way to be sure. You understand what I'm saying? So women, for the longest period of human time, the idea of a promiscuous female has been frowned upon and shamed. In half of the world today, it's still shamed. So a woman can't go around fucking people and pretend it's the same as a man running around fucking people. It's absolutely not the same. A man can only cheat if he loves someone else. If I have a woman who I truly love and I go out and fuck and I come back to her and I don't care about her and I only love my girl, that's not cheating. That's exercise. If she even talks to a dude, it's cheating because females are emotionally invested. I have no emotional investment. So no, I'm making this very, very clear. Any woman who was with me never even, the only men they spoke to besides me were my brother, and the guys online who were paying them. That is it. They were absolutely loyal to me. And if they weren't, they got fired.
And these women obey you. How does that happen? How do you get that to happen?
You get that to happen through showing competence. If every single thing in life is a value exchange, every single thing in life, even friendships are a value exchange. You think of who your best friend is, right? You gain something and he gains something through your interaction, right? Either it makes you feel happy or he can help you with some things or you help each other. Every single thing in life is a value exchange. So I have to provide value for these women for them to want to be with me. You can't just be some jackass. People have this idea that, oh, you're a pimp. You just get these girls and you say work and they're scared of you and they just work. It's bullshit. I was doing this in London. A girl could have walked out the door any day, called the police on me any day. And they didn't. They wanted to be with me because they genuinely understood that their life was better if they obeyed me. They genuinely trusted me. And they genuinely also understood that if they're going to be with any kind of high value man, he's going to fucking cheat anyway. So why hide it? Isn't it easier to know the bitch? Isn't it easier to at least suck her tits a bit and join in? Like, what's the point in pretending you're with a guy and pretending he's loyal and he's out doing whatever anyway? There's no difference. So I know it seems like it seems extreme. But these girls are making good money. They're living a very good life. They're with a man they love. They're with these other girls who are their best friends. And it was a pretty happy environment overall. I had to do a lot of policing because when you're the patriarch of that kind of environment, you do have to do a lot of policing. But all in all, there was no disrespect in the house. There was no arguments in the house. I wouldn't tolerate a negative environment. That's bad for business. There's not going to be any Debbie Downer around pissing everyone off because they're not going to smile on cam. So it was a very happy interaction. And my girls just understood, look, I'm fucking all of you. If you don't like it, leave.
What's your opinion on equal rights, women, men, 50-50?
I don't think the world has ever been equal. I think this whole idea of equal rights, I do believe we should have equal rights under the law, right? I'm not saying that women should completely and utterly be slaves. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the modern society we live in has been built by men. Let's cut the crap. All the roads you see, all the buildings you see, everything around you, men built. All of it. When women come along and say, oh, we're just as important, you are just as important, but you had a completely different role. You fulfilled a different role in society. And I think now, if you look at the roles of society, I believe men are still doing their job, but I don't know if women are doing their job. Women's job always was procreation, to look after the family and to look after the man. That's all that they had to do. And the man would go out there and risk his life and spend his time building the modern world. Men are still out here building the modern world. But when they come home now, the girl's like, oh, why should I cook for you? I think women are failing in their role. I think women are failing. And that's down to the propaganda that's being propagated by the system, right? The Western world is convincing women that they're a high value woman if they don't take shit from a man, don't look after a man, and work really hard in a career. And I just think that's asinine. Why wouldn't you want to work really hard for your babies and for your man as opposed to working in some business that doesn't even care about you, that's going to furlough you as soon as Corona comes?
What do you think of a man's role on this planet?
I think a man's role on this planet is also another thing that we need to redefine to some degree, right? I think a man's role on this planet has changed, but from the dawn of human time, a man's role has always been the capability for violence. This is what men were, right? When I look at the world, I look at it from a societal perspective and I look at it from an animalistic perspective. Society has told us to be certain ways, and then our animal instinct tells us to be another way. So society tells you to marry one woman and be loyal, right? And then you have me saying men are not supposed to do that. We don't want to do that. Any man who sits there and says, I want to do that is lying. He wants to keep the woman he loves, and he wants the woman he loves to be happy, of course. But if he could keep the woman he loves and keep her happy and have other women, he would. You're lying if you say that's not true, right? So from an animal perspective, a man's primary role was the capability for violence. We went to war, we conquered stuff, we built stuff, we conquered. That's what men did. We conquered. To this day, still now, if you look at men, many of them are still trying to conquer the world one way or another. Why did you start this podcast?
Attention, make a bit of money.
Conquer the world.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying, right? Why does the CEO work 15 hours a day for some fucking conglomerate while the women don't want to work that much, or they'll work hard, but they want to also have a life outside of work? Why do men give up their lives for work? Is it just for money, or is it because they feel important and they feel like they're conquering? This is what I'm saying. Men have that drive inside of them. And this is since the dawn of human time. Why did I fight? Why did men climb Mount Everest? Why did the Romans melt rocks, make swords, and walk in random directions to find somebody, anybody, to fuck them up and take their stuff? This is who we are. So this is what men always were. And I think now that's got redefined. Obviously, we want to live in a peaceful society now, right? We can't just run around with swords. So a lot of the male instinct to conquer Earth is financial. I think this is why men work so hard. This is why men are so obsessed with money. Or they should be. They absolutely should be obsessed with money.
What do you say if a guy was working a 9 to 5, married to a woman, had a couple of kids, going his 2 or 3 holidays a year, and he said to you he was happy?
I'd say congratulations. I would genuinely say congratulations. If you're happy with that, and I know that's like a pretty normal setup. If you're happy with that, absolutely congratulations, and I don't look down on you. That's perfectly fine. But some men are just not born that way. Some men are born with something else inside of them, with a fire inside of them, which cannot be extinguished by beans on toast, TV at night, 9 to 5, sitting around with your wife, a couple blowjobs a month. Some men are not satisfied with that. I know me as an individual, I could not be satisfied with that. That doesn't mean I look down on the people who are. Absolutely, congratulations. But my time on the planet, I guarantee, will be more eventful. I will die with more stories. I would have made a bigger ripple in space-time because I refuse to comply with just the average, this is okay, you'll be happy with this, take it. There's always been that class of person. Even since the dawn of time, there's been the normal guy, and then there's been the dude who insists on conquering the world. There's been Napoleon who says, no, fuck you. I'm taking this and this and this. It depends what you're born with, right?
What is that greed? So for you making over $500,000 a month,
yep,
shagging girls everywhere,
yep,
Lamborghinis, Ferraris,
yep,
houses all around the world,
yep,
were you ever fulfilled? Were you ever satisfied, or did you constantly want more?
I think I constantly wanted more, but I don't know if...
Where does it end though?
But I don't think it needs to end, my friend. Why does it need to end? Why does it need to end? This is it. Like I think one of the biggest mistakes a man can make is to judge his life. Let me reword this. I think a man should have absolutely no interest in whether he's actually happy or not. If I wake up and I'm unhappy, I will do the exact same things as if I am happy. I will go to the gym the same. I will work the same. How I feel has no impact on how I live my life. I don't think happiness as an index is a healthy view for a man to have on life success. Women are different. Women just want to be happy, right? Women just want to smile. They don't care how. They don't care if they deserve it or not. As long as they get to smile, women are happy. That's women. But I think for a man, if you're waking up and going, oh, am I happy? Am I not? You're looking at life wrong. I think of a man, if you put happiness if you move it down the scale, right? And you start looking at, am I successful? Am I competent? You know, am I achieving things? Am I respected? If you start to look at these indicators of your life, you're going to end up being happier without actually analyzing if you're happy or not. So for me, I understood very, very well that $500,000 a month is good, but $1 million a month is better. And I also very, very much understood that as soon as you stop pushing forward, as soon as you go stagnant, you're dying, right? As soon as you stay in one place, you're slowly on the way down, right? If your podcast, if your channel now were to stagnate in views, you'd be worried. That's effectively dying. It has to grow at all times. So every business has to work. So for me, I was under enormous pressure. I didn't think, I have plenty of money now. It was the complete opposite. I wanted to work harder, more hours. I found the tap. Bro, if there was a golden tap that unlimited money and you had buckets and you took one bucket of money, would you just take that bucket or would you run back and get another bucket and run back and run? I couldn't stop. I couldn't sleep. I'd wake up to go piss at 3 a.m, take a piss. And by the time I finished pissing, I'd be like, I've slept 3 hours, that's enough. And wake the chicks up and put them back online. I couldn't get out of my brain because I saw that I'd replaced fighting, which I loved, with this. And this was my chance to escape the matrix. Bro, this has been inside of me since as early as I can remember. I remember walking to sixth form college. I was 16 or 17 with my 4 friends and a Ferrari burnt past us. I said to my boys, I was like, man, how'd that guy get that car? And they're like, don't know. I was like, doesn't that annoy you? Like, why would it annoy me? Because we're going to school. Our parents are on council estates. Like we're trying to scrape 20 pounds a week to eat. This dude has 400 grand for a car. Doesn't that aggravate you? Doesn't that show you that there's something about the world you do not understand? That you're missing something? And they're all like, not really. And they're all the dudes who are right now at home, 9 to 5, couple blowjobs, da-da-da. I was never that guy. I was pissed off for weeks because I saw some dude in his Ferrari. Do you understand? I was like, no, I have to. So now when I push my Ferrari, I'm like, this is the full circle. This is the universe giving me what I've always been manifesting. Does that make sense? Yeah. So now when people say, Andrew, why do you have 17 supercars? Because I have 17. I have every brand you can fucking name. I have 17 cars. I have over $10 million of cars. So because it was a car, these cars used to piss me off. So now I have to have them all. I don't even drive them. I have to have them. I'm trying to conquer the earth, my friend. Maybe I'm crazy, but this is what I'm trying to do. It's what I've always been trying to do. So I've never been satisfied. To this day, I'm making more money now than I was making in my cam days. I'm still not happy. But I don't judge my life on happiness. I don't look at it that way. I look at all the other human metrics and say, where am I failing? Am I in good shape? Yeah. Am I rich? Yeah. Do I have good friends, good connections? Yeah. Do I do whatever I want? Am I free? Tick, 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 tick. Well, fuck it then. Then life's fine. You know?
What makes you unhappy?
So now we're going to go to the other end of the spectrum. I don't believe in unhappy. I believe, okay, let me word it this way. I'm happy every day, right? Let's say happiness is a scale. If you're not distraught, then you're happy. And I mean that like 3 or 4 times in your life, like a family member is going to die or something really bad is going to happen and you're going to be devastated. And when you're distraught, you can't even talk. Like, when you're genuinely heartbroken, you can't even speak. You can't even talk. You just want to be left alone and you can't talk. Those days are coming for all of us. Either we're going to die or someone we love is going to die. Those days are coming. This is guaranteed. So until those days come, I'm happy. I'm very binary. Yes or no, 1 or 0. Unless I'm distraught, I'm happy. Now, happiness can be a sliding scale, right? I can be less happy some days than others, but I'm still happy because I'm not distraught. There's a really interesting show I watched a long time ago, and it was a documentary about colors. And it was saying they found this tribe in Africa. And in the tribe in Africa, they had different names for the colors than we have. And they got 2 different shades of blue, which were basically identical. Like blue, one kind of blue, another kind of blue, basically identical. And to them, they were completely different colors. But then they put like blue and yellow and they couldn't tell the difference. They couldn't tell the difference because the blue and the yellow had one name and these 2 kinds of blues had a different name. And what they were trying to say is if your brain is associated a name with something, it's very hard to work out the difference between the 2 things that have the same name. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I'm never unhappy. I'm happy always. Do you understand what I mean? If I'm not distraught, I'm happy. So I never wake up and go, oh, I'm unhappy today. I wake up and go, oh, I'm a little bit less happy today, but I'm happy. I've labeled myself as happy. I've labeled myself as lucky. I'm labeled these things, and I truly believe them. I will pass any lie detector test today that I'm the most content, happy man in the world because that's what I've decided. That's what I've labeled myself as. So how can it not be true?
Do you think you can condition the mind to keep saying it to
absolutely
eventually believe yourself that you're happy?
Absolutely you can. I talk to people all the time like, oh, I'm unhappy, I'm depressed. And I'm like, stop saying it. You're saying it.
You are what you speak.
Yeah. Why are you saying it? You're happy, my friend, because you're talking. If you're truly unhappy, you don't talk. Think of the last time you lost a family member. The first thing you did is you sat in silence for half an hour. First, you get a phone call and you just sit there. And someone goes, what's happened? And you might give them a few words. That's unhappy. If you're running your mouth down the pub about being unhappy, you're attention seeking. That's what you're doing. So a lot of people are labeling themselves. And I absolutely refuse to take my own power away. There are so many things in the world trying to kill us. Like you got enemies. You got people on the streets with blades. You got bacterias, fucking lions. Oh, I've got enough enemies, bruv. Sharks want me dead. I've got enough enemies. Why am I going to take my own power away? And this is what people really don't yet understand. There's only one thing on the planet you actually have control over. You can't control the weather. You can't control your health. You can get a brain aneurysm or a heart attack. You can't control other people. The only thing you can actually really truly control is what you think. That's the only thing you can change in real time. You can be thinking of red and change it to blue. So why are you not controlling your own mind? It's your asset. It's your ally. It's your friend. Why would you make an enemy out of the only thing you have control over? I refuse to do that. It doesn't make sense to me. The worst thing on earth that could happen to a man could happen to me. And I guarantee you, I would still label myself happy. I'm happy because that's who I am. That's how I view myself. That's what I've decided.
When you had the 75 girls, did you sleep with everyone?
No, I couldn't. There's too many. There's no way. It was impossible.
Should have phoned me, bro.
Should have hired you. Should have like, James, we got work to do. Nah. I couldn't, man. I couldn't. So we had like a management structure.
So how do you do it? Listen, having a girlfriend or whatever, if you've got a bit on the side, that's fucking hard work.
Yeah.
I done it for many years, hiding.
Yeah.
And just, you lose track sometimes. So for somebody to keep 75 girls, how the fuck does that happen?
Yeah, so I wasn't sleeping with most of them. I say up to 75, I was probably still only sleeping with 5 or 6. I tried to go like very legit businessman with it and not sleep with the girls, etc. But that's when I learned my lessons, right? I learned so many lessons from that period of my life about male-female dynamics. So many lessons. And I learned that women are loyal to the dick they want to suck and nothing else. And if they're not having sex with you, they're going to have sex with somebody else. They're not going to go sexless. And whoever they're having sex with is the person they're going to listen to ultimately. And that person does not want them naked in another dude's house. Why would they, right? So I was trying to motivate girls with money. So the girls who loved me and worked for me, my main girlfriends, they'd get probably around 20% of their money. I'd keep 80% of the money they made. So they basically worked for free. They worked for my love and attention. The other girls was the other way around. I'd keep 20% for all the help I gave them, the premises, the typing, because by that time I had a room of typers. I had like 4 or 5 girls who were full-time professional typers. They were ugly, but they were smart. And then I had the pretty girls on the cameras. So I had like a professional setup. So I was taking 20% of the money from them and they'd get 80% of the money. So I was trying to motivate them with money, but motivating with money doesn't work for 2 reasons. The first reason is if a girl has no romantic interest in you, the idea of her making you money off of her tits offends her. Like you're using her tits. It's like grabbing a girl's tits who doesn't like you. Do you understand what I mean? There's something weird about it. They didn't like it. I'd buy a new car and they'd be like, fucking, why is this guy? Why is he getting a cut? Even though I was getting a minuscule cut for the amount of work I did for them, I was getting very small from these girls because these are the girls who I didn't know romantic interest in. That was the first thing. So they were abrasive. They were idiots. And the second thing is, the man they're sleeping with is always like, hey, why the fuck you working for this guy? We can do this ourselves. You can do this yourself. Fuck him. He's exploiting you. Because they don't want the fucking girl working for me, right? And then what's amazing is every single time a girl quit, because we had a professional setup, because we had expertise, it's like a podcast, bro. You have a podcast. If someone were to go, I could do a podcast, go on then. And then you'll see them fail, right? So these girls would be working for me making 10 grand a month and they'd be keeping 8 grand. I took 2 grand. They'd quit, try and do it with their boyfriend, make 1 grand a month, and then quit. Every single one who stopped working for me ended up failing and begging for her job back. 100% rate, right? So what I started doing is, me and the other girls, I started having firing girls parties. Because what I wanted to do is I understood the psychology of women, and women as a whole are absolutely group thinkers. Females are sheep. Everyone says women are complicated. No, they're not. Women are extremely simple. Women are programmable. Women are blank slates and they're programmed. And they're either programmed by you as a man or they're programmed by society. The good wife who obeys her man and cooks for him and cleans for him has been programmed by her man. The woman who goes, I don't need no man, I'm a feminist, that has been programmed by society, by the BBC. They're programmed. They're all born blank, and someone inserts the programming, right? So with my women, because of groupthink, every single time a girl would get fired or quit, we'd have a party. And when you'd have a party about a girl quitting, all the girls would stand around and laugh. Oh, she's going to end up asking for a job back. She doesn't appreciate what Andrew did for her. Ha, 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 da, da, da. And then girls didn't want to quit because they knew there'd be a party about them. And they didn't want there to be a party about them. Do you understand? I had girls come to me saying, look, I have to leave. I'm sorry. I really have to leave. Please don't throw a party about it. Like, because they were so scared of all the girls who used to know them, like mocking them behind their back. So we had like this groupthink thing going on. But this is how women are programmed as a whole, even out here in society, bro. Who are the strongest advocates for this corona crap? Women. Women are the easiest to program. You could trick women all day long, right? So, but I wasn't tricking anyone. I was just saying, look, you can make a bunch of money. I never exploited anybody. I never hit a girl. I never hurt nobody. I didn't even have to raise my voice. I was a positively inspirational and motivating person. I was a pimp. I made them feel happy doing what they did. They liked working for me. So that was it as a whole. It was a very happy environment. There was no slavery element. You're not going to get a girl to work 12 hours a day, 6 days a week by being mean to her.
Yeah, because a lot of the stuff online, I think they say like 80% of the girls are sexually abused and shit like that. So there's always going to be question marks for people doing webcam porn and stuff like that.
And I know that. I mean, but I really do think that with porn, I don't know because I've never run a porn business. I think if a girl turns to porn, then she's had a hard life. Why would you want to be rallied left, right, and center by who fuck knows who on camera? I think there's something wrong with that. I don't think that's a natural feminine mindset. I don't think any woman who's normal in her brain wants that. I think that's wrong. But with Cam, I genuinely had girls who worked for me who had a boyfriend for 10 years or only slept with 2 men in their lives. It's just pixels on a screen, bro. Like it's not like people imagine it to be. It's just like a 99% of Cam is a Cam girl is much more a therapist than she is a porn star. Like she can make so much money from showing her tits, whatever, but she makes the big money from making these guys like her, being funny, banter, having good friends, messing around. I had girls who would paint pictures and paint and sell the painting. I had girls who played piano. It was not as sexual as people think it was. It was very much like guys fell in love with them on the internet.
How long does it last for somebody to pay? Is it a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes?
Man, it wasn't even about privates like that. It was if you're a good girl and you're very good at the job and you'd get loyal fans who really loved you, they'd be there every single day and they wouldn't even be buying your time. They'd just be donating money.
What's the worst thing you've seen a man wanting to see?
Worst?
Yeah.
You know, and that's another thing because there's rules on these websites. They can't ask for bestiality. They can't ask for kiddie shit. They can't ask for anything too weird.
So, shitting in a shoe.
Nah, none of that shit. They're not allowed to ask for that. I've had some funny ones. We had a guy, one of my best girls had a guy called Paul. I think he was from Scotland. Do you know any Scottish guys called Paul?
I know a few.
Okay, so here's what Paul's up to. So Paul sent her $500. Just tipped it to her. Bang, $500. Please, can you buy some gummy bears? So she bought some gummy bears. And the next day he said, okay, here's what I want you to do. And he took her private and he was paying $5 a minute for this. And I think all in all, he was on there for another $500 worth. So this is a $1,000 interaction. He got the girl to line up all the gummy bears and pretend they were him and all his friends, right? And she's sitting there with her tits out and all the gummy bears, and she'd have to pick up one of the friends and like, he looks tasty. And then Paul would be like, please don't eat my friend. Please don't eat my friend. And she'd be like, but he looks good. Please, please, please don't. And you'd see him on camera. He's like jerking off. Please, please, please don't. And she'd like put him in her tits, whatever. And then she'd like lick him. And he's literally about to come everywhere from this. Eventually she starts chewing his friend, eating his friend. And he loved it. Please, no, please stop eating me. Please stop eating me. Until she's eaten all the friends, and then it's down to Paul, isn't it? He's the last guy. And he's like, please don't eat me. Please, I'll do anything. Please, I'll give you more money. Please don't eat me. She's like, no, I'm going to eat you. I'm going to eat you. And after about 2 minutes of threatening to eat him, she chews Paul, and he comes all over the place. So, I mean, you got that kind of thing. It's a bit weird, but it's funny. Like, who gives a shit, right? The girl thinks it's funny. No one took it that seriously. The idea that these women on webcam are like sexually abused or forced to do it that's wrong. I literally had a girl who was a waitress in Nando's who just wanted more money and came and did it and thought it was funny and talked to Paul and his bullshit. And a bunch of men in America fell in love with her and they didn't even know her real name. And she made a bunch of money. It can be that cool. I'm telling you, I can assure you because I lived it.
How do you recruit people for you? Do you go on the streets and pick girls, Tinder? Was that?
It's just me and my brother were living our lives. We lived a very good life. We attracted female attention. We're pushing Lamborghinis. We're living a good life. And every time we dated a girl, we'd just say, look, do you want to do this? And if they said no, we'd say, okay, cool. If they said yes, we'd say, okay, cool. That was it. We were the head recruiters.
Have you ever been in love?
Absolutely.
Have you?
I completely believe in love. This is the thing.
What is love to you?
I completely believe in love. I'm a massive advocate for love. I'm a massive advocate for men and women being in love with each other. I'm not one of them evil predators or one of them playboys who thinks women are just for sex. Not at all. If you're sick, if you're sick in bed, the first thing you do is call a woman, right? You don't call your boys when you're sick in bed, or you call a woman, right? Like there's a very sacred interaction between men and women. I love the idea of family. I love the idea of children. I love the idea of being in love with a woman. I love the idea of her loving me. I just don't see why I should only love one. I don't see why I can't love five.
Have you ever been heartbroken?
Yeah, when I was younger, like 18, 19, everyone's been heartbroken, right?
How did that affect you? Do you think that plays a part on the way, people see you as a womanizer, a playboy?
Yeah, but this is the thing. I really, truly, truly believe that I'm just very honest. I don't think I'm any worse than most other men. I just think I tell the truth. I just think I've realized that cheating and hiding is too much fucking work. Just to say, look, my dear, I love you with all my heart. We're going to be together forever. I fucked that bitch. Yeah, my clothes stink of perfume. I'm sorry. I don't even know her name. Whatever.
And what do your girlfriends say?
I mean, they can either go crazy and leave, or they can not go crazy and stay. Like, it's a binary decision, right? And I think that what people really don't, when I say this, people really don't believe it. They say, oh, but that means the girl doesn't really love you. That's not true. If she didn't really love me, she'd leave. She completely loves me. What women are looking for is women want to feel special. Sexual exclusivity is how a woman proves to a man that that man is special to her. You are my man, so I only sleep with you, right? And what we've done in the modern world is saying, so we'll reverse it. For a woman to be special, to prove she's special, you have to only sleep with her. If she knows she's special in other ways, then she doesn't give a fuck what you do. And this is really not revolutionary. What I say, people are going to be all in the comments going, his girls are sluts, or his girls don't really love him. That's not true. I know my women love me. I know they've been loyal to me. I've had two of my girls who started with me at the beginning, 8 years. I'm still with to this day. So if you go to Russia, for example, when you're a high value man, do you think these mafia guys in Russia are loyal? You think Putin's loyal? These big boys? No. I mean, this is accepted over there. If you speak to a Russian girl, she's like, he's rich. Of course he has his fun, but I'm his wife. It's normal, completely normal. It's only in countries like America and England where a woman's going to go, I would never take that. I'd never accept that. Oh, you're going to let a man pay for your entire life. You're going to push a merc. You're going to have this fucking big G. But if he talks to some bitch one night while he's out drunk, you're going to fucking pretend that that's the worst thing in the world. That's Western bullshit feminist thinking. If you remove the feminism element, that doesn't exist in most places in the world. You go to Russia and live in Russia, every single high-level guy has fucking 3 or 4 mistresses. All of them.
Do you have kids?
Do I have kids? If I had kids, I wouldn't say on the podcast.
But if you had a daughter, say,
yep,
how would you feel if she came in with a man like you? Be honest.
Okay, and this is the thing, and I'm going to actually be completely honest here. I really try and base my worldviews on brutal realism. I try and be a realist, even if it's hard to be a realist. If that man made her happy, good.
See, I would cut his fucking dick off.
Well, this is and I know, and I understand that. But if she were to say, look, he does what he does, but I really love him. And I was like, does he hurt you? No, he doesn't hurt me, and I'm happy with him. Then I'd be like, as long as you're happy.
But it's double standards, isn't it? Why am I like that, though? Why
of course it's double standards. Of course it's double.
All the shit that I've done, but yet I don't want my daughter to get treated like that. That's why I try to make some changes to see the world differently, to not hurt people's feelings. And
well, why has it got to hurt people's feelings?
I don't know, man. Like,
but this is what I mean. I don't think it does.
Sensitive as fuck, can't we?
I don't think it does. I don't think it does. I can tell you now, honestly and utterly, with let's say I have a girl and I take her on holidays, I look after her, she's financially looked after, she's the only girl I sleep next to. I don't sleep, and when I say sleep, I mean like actually sleep. I don't sleep and hug other women. I just fuck other women sometimes. And she genuinely doesn't care anymore. She's like, okay, whatever. Just make sure none of these bitches ever message me, and everyone knows she's the queen. She's with me all over Instagram. Everyone knows she's my main girl. And she really genuinely doesn't care. Why? There's no unhappiness. There's no unhappiness. I know people believe that's an impossible scenario to set up, but it really isn't. Because what's funny is this. I say this to girls all the time. Girls always say, I'd never take that crap. I'd never put up with that, blah, blah, because girls always say that. I say, all right, go to your man right now and demand to see his phone. Because he's going to make excuses. Say, we're going to swap phones for a week. He's going to say, oh, no, because of work, da-da-da-da. No, don't buy his shit. Because if he's making excuses, he doesn't want you to see something, and you know what that is. That's pussy. You know it, and I know it. So go in there and demand it. I trust him. No, you don't trust him. You just don't want to see the truth because you already know what he's doing. Every woman who's with a fucking G already knows what he's doing. They just lie to themselves and pretend to be blind. The difference between me is my girl hasn't got to fucking live in a fantasy. She knows. Those women who pretend to not know are no better than my woman who actually knows. In fact, I'd say my woman who actually knows is smarter than them bimbos. We're going to sit there and pretend, no, I know. No, I don't need to check on him. I trust him while he's away for 2 weeks. All right. It's garbage, bro. It's bullshit. It's bullshit.
Why did you choose Bucharest to live?
Good question. That's a good question. So I'm disenfranchised with the West. I'm anti-West. This is a completely different pivot now, but my political views are completely anti-Western. I think that the West is on a serious moral and economic decline, and I would rather live in a society which I see is on the way up than on the way down. I think America is becoming more and more violent by the day. Taxes are getting higher and higher. Police powers and police control are getting more and more strict. You're living in a society where you have to be scared of the criminals, scared of the police, scared of the tax man, scared of everything. And I don't see what the benefit of living there is. I don't see it. Same in England. You look at London 10 years ago compared to London now. I can't wear a nice watch in London. Not like I used to be able to. Like London's not even safe at night, most places now. I'm risking getting stabbed to pay 60% taxes. And then on top of that, the police want to give me a fine for not wearing a mask. It's a police state. If I'm going to live in a police state, I want at least to be provided with safety. If I go to Dubai, it's a police state, but it's safe. I can wear $1 million watch all day long. I know I can't fuck with the law, but at least they've given me my safety. In the West, they're gonna take all your freedom and not provide safety and then want to police your Facebook comments. Why would I stay here? I have money. I don't need to stay here. So as soon as I realized I didn't need to stay here, then I started looking at the world, and you realize the world is small because all the problems I just described is all of Western Europe and America and Canada is all the same. All of South America, if you're flexing and living a good life, you're risking getting your head chopped off. Australia is a fucking penal colony. Fuck them. Southeast Asia, a lot of it's crap. I mean, I don't want to bang Thai girls and run around in the sand.
Lady boys.
Yeah, exactly. So you start running out of places, and then you start looking, and the only places to really live that I've enjoyed in my life are Dubai, but that's just one city. You get bored of the city, there's nowhere to go. Or Russia and Eastern Europe. So in Eastern Europe is very much a safe place unless you piss off the wrong boys, right? So Eastern Europe is a completely different way crime works. In England, crime can be very random. I was walking down the street, wrong place, wrong time, he stabbed me. In Romania, the chance of a random attack is zero.
More mafia, more organization.
But if you fuck with the wrong guy, you're going to disappear. But that's the same everywhere in the world, right? If you fuck with the wrong guy. So I would rather live in a society knowing that I have to respect certain people, but the chance of random violence is zero, than England, where you still have to respect certain people and there's a random violence element, right? So I knew some very important guys in Romania. I didn't want to live in Eastern Europe the way I live. You can't just rock up to Ukraine, start pushing a Lambo and fucking a bunch of girls and not have trouble, right? But in Romania, I had good friends to make sure that didn't happen. So I had very good friends there from fighting, and I went to Romania, and we became business partners on a bunch of other things, and now it is what it is. So I feel very, very safe there, 100% safe.
Where do you think the most beautiful girls, in your opinion, are on this planet?
I would say either Russia or Moldova, but I would say if you're watching this and you want to go to visit, they're very difficult to sleep with. They're not stupid. They're not stupid. I'm telling you, people really have this view of Eastern European girls as sluts because a lot of them are working girls. Like if you go to Dubai or if you go to a brothel in Germany, there's a bunch of Romanian girls, right? So they think, oh, Romanian girls are sluts. I say, no, Romanian girls are not sluts. They're smart. If a Romanian girl wants to be a slut, she does it for money. And if she doesn't do it for money and she's not a slut, she's exceptionally hard to sleep with. A lot of these girls in Bucharest are 25, 26. They've got 2 men, 3 men body counts. Sorry. They're very hard. If they want to be a hoe, they're going to be a hoe and get paid. Only an English or an American girl is stupid enough to be a hoe for free. Because over here, they'll be a hoe because they were drunk. They'll just be a hoe because they're dumb. Oh, I slept with a bunch of men. Oh, he was funny, so he jizzed on me. Like, they're just idiots. In Eastern Europe, they're far too intelligent for that. They understand that the number one commodity a female has is beauty. And if they're born with it, they're not going to fucking waste it going out getting hammered and banging Joe whoever. They're not going to do that. They're not stupid like that. So Western girls are extremely easy to sleep with compared to Eastern European women. Eastern European women are much, much harder. They're more savvy. And people say that they're gold diggers. I wouldn't say they're gold diggers. I would say that if a woman from Romania or Ukraine or Russia is going to be dating you, she's genuinely considering if there's a future for marriage and babies, because they still have that element of society where women are respected as a mother. They want to be mothers. So if you have no money, why would they want a family with you? They're not going to have a good life, are they? So they are gold diggers, not in a gold digger, give me a handbag way. They're in a, can this man financially provide for me to have a family from him? I don't want to go work for €300 a month, because that's what I'm going to get. Can this man pay for me? So yeah, they do respect money, but they're much harder to sleep with. So Russia or Moldova. But so I'm saying that now because if any guy goes, oh, Russian women, I'm going to go over there. You're not going to fucking slam nothing same night. You're going to be out. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. They're very difficult. You have to date them for a long time. You know, they want to go on lots of dates. They want to really know you. It's harder over there. And Moldova, I wouldn't go to because Moldova is probably the most hostile place I've ever been. I've been there 3 times and was attacked twice.
Why is that?
Because they are super right-wing nationalist. And you know what's crazy? Even though they attacked me, I respect them for it. So me and my brother were walking down Chisinau, Moldova. It's 2 a.m. We had these 3 girls with us. We're walking. We're talking to the girls in English. And this guy goes, oh, American. And I go, hi. He goes, oh, you come here to bang bang. We're like, what? You come here porno. Yeah, you come here porno. And by the time he said that, 4 of his friends had got out of a car and they jumped us. Because they knew Americans have come to this shithole country to fuck our women. Why else am I there? Why else would I be in Chisinau, Moldova? It's not for all the beautiful girls. They knew exactly why I was there. I knew why I was there. Everyone understood the interaction, and the Moldovan men are just like, fuck you. We're not going to let you come here and just bang our women. Why would we? They're super, super nationalistic, super, super right wing, and that's happened to me twice. They came, they punched me. I took it. They punched my brother. We got them all on one side because we had them surrounded. We're like, okay, we're leaving. Sorry. We're leaving. My brother speaks Romanian. They speak Romanian and Russian. My brother said, we're not tourists in Romanian, which threw him off a little bit. And we got in the taxi and we said to the girls, come get in the taxi. So the girls still came with us. We got in the taxi. Tristan's lips bleeding a little bit, nothing too big. We got back to the hotel and went to the hotel. The girls started telling the hotel receptionist what happened. And then what was scary is the hotel receptionist started to panic. We're like, because it was a woman. She's like, oh, what car were they in? And I was like, a BMW. She goes, oh, because over there, the average wage in Moldova is like $200 a month. Having a BMW is a big deal, right? Like, oh, they had a BMW. Oh, they might be mafia guys. They're going to come here. They're going to come after you. And we're like, well, how are they going to know that we're here? And the receptionist says, the taxi now is going to go back to them and say for a tip, they'll tell them you're here. I'm here by myself. And she started really having like a panic attack. I was like, well, call the police then. She goes, no. She didn't want to call the police. Don't know why. So now me and Tristan are scared. The whole interaction, it was just reaction, right? We weren't really scared. And once we're in the taxi, we're like, whatever. But now we're scared because the receptionist is panicking. This is 4 a.m. on a Saturday morning. And we're sitting there and we looked on the thing and there was a flight back to Romania, which is generally safe, at 6 a.m. So we just packed and bailed. It was like, all right, well, shit, let's get out of here. And twice similar stories have happened to me in Moldova. So Moldovans are super, super protective of their people and their culture. And then sometimes I walk through London and look at all the problems we have here and I have to respect them. Because they won't let anyone go there and fucking fuck around with them or disrespect them or fuck their women or nothing. And the girls there are 10 out of 10. They're fucking beautiful, but they're kind of trapped there and the men won't let us go there. So, but I respect them. I really respect them as men. If I were to meet those guys who jumped me, I'd shake his hand. I'd be like, I get it.
You own casinos as well?